Hey, Isabella, did you see that angry supporters of the Italian soccer club Torino dumped a heap of manure outside of the club's training ground in a protest against the owner?
That feels like it's going to affect everybody, not just the owner.
That is true. Everybody's got to use the door.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to smell. Ew.
Yeah, videos emerged on social media of a vehicle arriving at the training ground, men jumping out and shoveling what local media described as manure into a pile at the entrance. Above the pile was a banner which translated to "Eat shit, Cairo," a statement aimed at owner Urbano Cairo.
Well, now I have an idea for the day you piss me off.
The only employee here in the same office has just threatened me with a pile of poop.
And I can't tell you if it's going to be cow, goat. I won't let you know.
Wouldn't even be my first question. Wouldn't make a difference. This episode is presented by GMC. We are professional grade. Hello! Hello, and we're back. We're back, which means I can scream. Welcome to Casuals, the sports podcast. It doesn't care what you know. We're just happy that you're here because sports are about vibes, okay? Welcome. I'm Katie Nolan. I host this thing. Today on the show, we got a lot to get to. The owner of the Angels, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, the baseball team, says fans don't care about winning. Mark Cuban thinks that losing on purpose should be embraced by the National Basketball Association. NFL owners achieve the dreams of all grade schoolers everywhere by getting report cards banned. And last but not least, we will be joined by Olympic luger Sophia Kirkby to ask her all about the Olympic experience, but mostly we want to perform a wellness check because she went on that date with a fan, and I want eyes on her. I want to make sure she's okay and that she's back and she's safe. So we're going to talk to her in a little bit, but first I've got to tell you how you can reach us here at Casuals. Our email is casualswithkatienolan@gmail.com. Our voicemail is 646-801-0043. On IG and TikTok, we are at Casuals, the podcast. I also have to introduce you to our production team here at SiriusXM. We call them the Casualties, and we yap it up about sports before we bring in a guest on these Thursday episodes that are released on YouTube on Friday. The Casualties are here. Isabella, our sports newbie.
Hi.
Chris, our master editor.
Hello.
And Brady.
Hey.
Incredible. Nothing's happening. Well, I mean, a lot is happening, you know? I figure we would start the show. We got any emails we want to toss out there?
Yeah, I think we should start off with an email from Nat,
okay,
if I may.
Mm-hmm.
And Nat says, "Hey, Casualties. After hearing Isabella say, I wonder if Alyssa Liu will inspire other athletes to be more chill, I immediately thought about what Paul Rothrock, who plays for my Seattle Sounders in the MLS, said this week in an interview. Let's have a listen to what he said.
I saw you before the game, sort of walking the field, headphones on, had a ball in your hand, just seemed kind of like taking it in by yourself. I got to ask what the song was.
A Donna Summer song that Alyssa Liu had for her gold medal performance. Yeah, shout out to her because I was actually pretty inspired with just her attitude going into the Olympics, and I was trying to play on that a little bit today of just going in free and going in for the joy of it and for, you know, just making connections with the guys and not thinking about objectives and results and just enjoying it, and I think it paid off tonight.
Hell yeah. Wait, that makes me so happy. Honestly, this poor girl. I mean, it's not, the reason I say poor girl is because I have been like using her. She's been getting me through the week. Like today I woke up and I was like, I don't know if I could do it today. And I wake up way before Dan, and I just put on really quietly my shower speaker all the way down, you know, just so I could hear it. So I didn't wake up him and Myrtle, just so I could listen to MacArthur Park.
I've been listening to that song lately too.
I can't with it. It's really helping me through so much. I love that. I absolutely love that. And it's what it should be. Hearing other athletes be like, yeah, that inspired the hell out of me. Ooh, I love that. I could run through a wall. The Olympics, man, they're great. We got one more email before we jump into everything?
We do one more email from Katie. I assume it's a different
Shout
Katie
out.
and not
no,
you, because that would be strange.
I actually been emailing you guys. I can't get a hold of you, so I'm writing into the show email, hoping it'll get in.
Katie says, "Hi, Katie and the Casualties," and specifically wanted to shout out Isabella. Said, "Hi, Isabella."
Such a Katie.
Clearly,
Yeah.
Isabella. Classic Katie.
Katie's love Isabella.
After the last episode in the presidential elephant in the room, I thought we needed some positivity. I'm a 5th grade teacher in California. My class and I have been watching the Olympics religiously. We even got to meet Aiden Oldenburg, Curling Rambo, in a Zoom session where he taught the kids how to play curling,
Sick.
which is awesome.
They get to
But the
forget
best
it every
moment-
4 years. That's the rules.
But the best moment by far was watching the entire gold medal women's hockey match together. When Keller scored the final goal, my students erupted in cheers and applause. An entire class of girls and boys were screaming their little hearts out for a sport most of them had never watched before. And none of the boys gave a shit about watching women play because it's not hard to support women's sports. Thank you for the rant and putting our rage into words.
You're welcome, me. Thanks for writing an email. Love you, mean it, Katie and Nat. Thank you guys for writing in. Yeah, listen, this is the hardest part about this, I think, is that this story is ever evolving, right? And we recorded our episode that came out on Tuesday. We recorded that on Monday, and it didn't release on YouTube till Wednesday. And now here we are again recording this on Wednesday, and it's going to come out on. So I just want to be clear about how weird the timeline is so that everybody that's following this is like, can take that into account whenever I say what it is that I'm saying. But here we are on Wednesday, and I think where I'm at mentally with this is that I'm just like kind of really frustrated. I'm just like frustrated and defeated because, like, I don't know, those 2 weeks of the Olympics were really great for bringing everybody together. And I was feeling like, coming together and talk. I had somebody say to me that it saved their marriage watching the Olympics with their wife because it was something they were like, we can both be rooting for this together. It's like a common ground to discuss. And now then with the last gold, the last triumphant gold of the Olympics, everybody was on board for. It has now been turned into this divisive thing where, like, I don't know, people who didn't watch any of the Olympics are now jumping into the conversation and being like, women don't like sports, this is for the men. And I'm just standing here like, yeah, okay, you don't even know who played in the game. You didn't watch any of the actual sport, and I have to somehow now defend women who won the gold, excuse me, but also just like female sports fans. And now it just puts us all in this weird place where we've got to be combative about a thing that, like, we would have loved to avoid completely in the first place. As was mentioned on our last episode, we're not ignorant to the political beliefs of many of the players. It's something we had just chosen to exist with because it wasn't what it was about. It was about coming together and celebrating the team. But very quickly it became not about that. And that's been very frustrating to watch, like, snowball, not to make a Winter Olympics reference, but to watch it like snowball on itself into this thing that has grown out of control. Where now me, a lifelong hockey fan, who if you had told me, it's like a monkey's paw, right? If you had told me like the whole world will be talking about hockey and United States will have defeated Canada both in the men's and women's for the first time, I'd be like, yeah, of course I'll take that timeline. And then I look at it and I'm like, oh, except they're not really talking about hockey. They're talking about this. They're talking about politics. They're talking about Kash Patel looking for Nancy Guthrie in the bottom of a Michelob Ultra. Or they're like talking about them going to the State of the Union, a boring school assembly on its best day. That's where they're going to celebrate. And so it's just like, look, I'm with you. I don't want to do the politics of it all, especially as things are heating up and becoming this like pressure cooker of nightmare headlines. It's like sports was kind of providing this beautiful break where we could all just go, let's come together despite our differences and celebrate human achievement and accomplishment. And instead, it's becoming like, agree with this and get in line, or you're a whiny crybaby and sports hates you. And it's like, I don't know that it needs to be all this. I don't know that we needed to take it there and make it all of this and make it now divisive, where you've got to support women's hockey or men's hockey. It's like, this should be a big win for USA Hockey as like a program, as like as a unit. And instead, it's becoming like this whole thing. And there was all of this momentum coming into this Olympics behind hockey, the heated rivalry of it all. New fans were finding the sport and going to the games. And now those very new fans, many of whom are women, are having to like either abandon it, which many of them are. I've seen a lot of fan accounts like Daily Jeremy Swayman, which was an account that would daily post pictures and updates on Bruins goalie and backup goalie for the United States men's team, Jeremy Swayman. They have said we're ceasing operations. At Daily Jeremy Sway, no more. We're not doing this anymore. And so women either have to like abandon the sport entirely, which sucks, or they've got to go fully into PWHL and also act like it's the women versus the men. It's becoming this when the whole point of it was to be this. The whole point was it to be like togetherness, that you can love both. If there's not a team that you want to watch that night, you can watch, for your women's team, you can watch the men. Or if your men's team isn't playing, you can watch the women. And instead it's like pick one and then it's adversarial. And that sucks. That sucks really bad. We do have to update the story, so let's just get into the headlines that we can update. The USA women declined the State of the Union invitation. The men went to it. The women's statement was, quote, "We are sincerely grateful for the invitation extended to our gold medal winning U.S. women's hockey team. Deeply appreciate the recognition of their extraordinary achievement. Due to the timing and previously scheduled academic and professional commitments following the games, the athletes are unable to participate. They were honored to be included and grateful for the acknowledgement." Yeah, they've got their season starts back up Thursday. So today, when this episode is releasing on audio, yesterday, if you're watching us on YouTube, their season starts. The men's season, NHL season, starts on Wednesday, right? Today for recording. So yesterday, the timeline sucks, but we'll get there. Okay, as we get better at this, it'll all come out closer to each other. We're new. Their season starts, and a lot of them missed practices to go to, again, the State of the Union, which Connor Hellebuck got the Presidential Medal of Freedom. I'm not going to get worked up about that because it's like that thing just is like the translation of it is like president likes you, right? That's what it has always felt like. Like president says yay to you. Because they've given it to many athletes and such throughout history. There's been 671 previous recipients. 44 of them are athletes. I know Megan Rapinoe has one. It's like it's kind of up to whoever is in office to pick who they want. And that's fine. They gave it to Connor Hellebuck, who was fantastic in net. I do wonder if anyone at any point brought up the and so normally he's goalie for a Canadian team, or this isn't really the narrative that's been surrounding Connor Hellebuck leading into this Olympics. It's not like everyone's like, yo, in a big game, put Connor Hellebuck in net. And so it's like, I'm very glad you can always change your narrative at any time, and certainly put in the work to change his narrative here at the Olympics with his performance in that game. But it's just funny watching all these people who definitely haven't been paying attention to hockey be like, Connor Hellebuck, is that the greatest goalie we've ever seen? And you're like, there were a few times that's not the case. Obviously an incredibly talented man. I feel like I got to do this. An incredibly talented man, and we are so grateful to have him playing his hockey and for allowing us gals to even watch if we want to. 5 men from Team USA did not go to the State of the Union. Just going to name them in case that matters to you. I don't know. Jake Gensel from the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Tampa Bay Lightning. Brock Nelson from the Avalanche. Kyle Connor from the Jets. Jackson Lacombe from the Anaheim Ducks. And then Jake Ottinger from the Dallas Stars. Which is really funny because heading into this Olympics, there was a graphic with Otter on it, and it had all the people on the team, and Otter was there smiling, right? And a lot of people were like, am I nuts or this guy looks like Charlie Kirk? And there's only certain angles in which he does. But it's just funny, like non-hockey fans seeing that graphic heading into the Olympics were like, yo, that backup goalie looks like Charlie Kirk.
There's a reason he grew a beard.
Yeah.
The beard is the great separator.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, they went to that. Trump claims Team USA women will visit the White House, quote unquote, soon. So look, whatever. Clearly that's the attitude we're taking. Whatever. You know, I'm just like seeing people online say the dumbest thing. Like somebody posted a picture of Bill Clinton with the 1996 women's gymnastics team being like, hypocrites, you guys don't like when they went to visit the president. And you're like, first of all, we didn't know the stuff we know now about him then, okay? We do know the other stuff now, and it's weird we're all just supposed to go about our lives like whatever, we don't have to get into it. I desperately every day try not to get into this. I don't want to divide people. I want sports to bring them together. It's just like when obviously that's not what's happening. Am I allowed to say that going there and putting that hat on and all wearing different pants? Did you see them all wearing the same sweater? And then like 90% of them wore the same pants. But then there's just like 10% that wore just they went off on their own thing. They were just like, I'm going to do this instead with these pants. We got like cargo pants on some of them. The shoes, just a fashion disaster on that lawn. But whatever. Flavor Flav, my president, invited the U.S. women's hockey team for a celebration in Las Vegas, and he says that the team accepted. It's going to have to wait. Like we said, their season starts back up Thursday night. The Montreal Victoire, taking on the New York Sirens. Just kidding, it's the Sirens. And then the 7 collegiate members of Team USA, like Layla Edwards and Caroline Harvey, who go to Wisconsin, et cetera, their season continued, right? Uninterrupted. They didn't pause the season for them, so they jumped right back into it when they came back. So, going with Flavor Flav to Vegas, just shout out Flavor Flav, everything he does for women's sports. He's, kind of, goes under the radar every now and then, but he paid for a lot of the sliding sports and stuff, right? He funded them to the Olympics, and he's done this in Summer Olympics past. He just is about it and puts his money where his mouth is. Somebody else got in on the action and put out some Olympic content. Somebody this podcast is very fond of.
Who?
Megan Thee Stallion.
Yay.
Love seeing her over there. I saw, did you watch any of this stuff, Isabella? Any of the content that came from
Yeah,
this?
I watched some of it. I saw the one with the food reviews that she was doing.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Yeah, her and she sat down with Layla Edwards and they ate a meal that, was great. Worth noting, Layla Edwards, obviously very talented. We've spoken about her at length on this podcast. She's the first black woman to score a goal for Team USA in the Olympics in hockey. Wearing a white sweatshirt that whole time, eating Italian food, no stains on her shirt.
Dangerous. Ooh.
What do we? How
Athletes
are
are just different.
It's just different. They just have a way of getting it into without getting. I mean, even just spinning. When you spin the pasta on your fork, a lot of splashback. And so I just want to, highlight her athletic achievements as well as her dining achievements because I was very impressed by that. They also sent Megan Thee Stallion to a hockey game. There's a video on YouTube, a YouTube short of her watching the game. It's very funny. I forgive her for this. I'm not judging her for this, but you can tell the goal that they show that she's reacting to. And I believe that video, Brady, correct me if I'm wrong, is from the men's game. She probably was at the women's game as well, but I think this video was from the men's final.
Yeah, the big production was the men's game.
And so she, you could tell she's, filming herself because the way the rights are, you can't show the ice, and they just are showing that she's there. She's looking at her phone when they score the goal because she looks up and goes, "Oh!" and reacts. And girl, if that hasn't been me, glued to the screen for the whole time, and then I go all right, let me answer this email. Score! And you're like, no, wait, whoa! I just wanted to call her out because I did notice and I did see it. She looked amazing. She did amazing content with people over there. One of my favorite things, she sat down at a cafe with Hillary Knight and Brittany Bowe, the Team USA hockey captain and the speed skater from Team USA, who got engaged. Hillary proposed to Brittany. We've talked about this before. I'm just getting you caught up. And she did an interview with them, and she said that she crossed her fingers, Isabel, did you see this? Mm-hmm. And she said, "I'm manifesting my own engagement this year."
Yeah.
Interesting. She's famously dating Klay Thompson, the basketball player, and she shouldn't, first of all, if she wants to get engaged, she shouldn't have to manifest that at all. There should be people lining up to propose to her.
Right, now I'm mad at Klay Thompson. I'm like, why do you have Megan Thee Stallion manifesting?
What
She should already be confident in the fact that...
She needs to be manifesting other things, which, by the way, she did. In an interview with Madison Chalk, they made pasta together. Great. Madison Chalk, the ice dancer, part of the Chalk and Bates pair that we were all rooting for. She says she's manifesting. She holds their medal and says she was manifesting basically an EGOT, an Emmy, a Grammy, another Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. So she's out here manifesting in these streets, which gave Isabella an idea, and we love at this show when Isabella gets an idea.
Thank you.
And her idea was, what are we going to manifest this year in sports?
Yeah. And so the things that I have thought about, and you guys don't have to have it, but I was thinking more particularly with baseball, because I know that's coming up.
Yeah.
So I have one.
Yeah, let's hear it. Because she's a Mets fan.
Okay. I learned that I think it's every year Hello Kitty does a collab with MLB, and they have Hello Kitty freebies. And so there is one that they're giving away at a Mets game, which I don't know if I'm going to that one, but there is one I think that they're giving away at a Dodgers game. It's really cute. I really, it's one of the freebies that they give out to the first 40,000 people, however many people.
Yeah.
So I'm really manifesting one of the Hello Kitty freebies.
Not the Dodgers one, surely.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Oh my God.
So here's the thing.
I thought we cured her of this.
Here's the thing, though. I already thought about that because I was like, well, I want it to be Mets specifically, but if it's specifically Hello Kitty that I'm really like super excited about.
Right. But if it's Hello Kitty Mets as an option.
Oh no!
Why go? No, not an option.
No.
Saturday, June 13th against the Braves is the Hello Kitty Mets bobblehead.
Okay, so we have to get you to that.
I know, and I want to get that one. That's my top one.
Yeah.
But I'm saying there is another one it's the Mets against the Dodgers. But the problem with it is that it's Dodgers specifically.
Yeah.
So if I
let's
can't get
not
the
even
Mets
bring
one,
that one up.
if I can't get the Mets one, I still want the Dodgers one. I'm sorry.
What if they give it out in a game where the Dodgers beat the Mets?
Fuck, why do you have to do that to
Because
me?
this is sports, babe. These are the types of decisions we have to make in our head. And you always look at that kitty, and you would, Brady. When is the Hello Kitty Dodgers game?
I don't see a Hello. It would be. You must be looking at LA.
Oh, it would be.
Are you manifesting it? No, of course it's at LA. They would.
Yeah,
be,
I don't.
It's
Yeah.
That's the issue. Hello, that she's willing to go all the way to LA to get a Hello Kitty Dodgers branded thing.
I really want the Mets.
Game.
Yeah,
Then go to that game.
Okay, I'm trying. I'm sorry. I didn't realize this was going to be an issue.
Well, it's just like
can
very
someone else go?
Okay, I'm
sweating.
am manifesting in the WBC United States versus Japan final. That's what I want. I want a USA-Japan final.
one.
I want to see it. I'm upset. I was seeing today that Tarek Skubal, the incredible pitcher from the Tigers, who just won his arbitration, a legendary, record-setting arbitration against the team, and is getting paid a ton of money, that he's only going to pitch one game. It's against Great Britain. And then they were like, if they go to the final, he'll be there rooting for them. He won't, pitch, but he'll be there. And I'm like, I wish everybody could just play. We got all the issues with Puerto Rico and the insurance. That's the main team we're hearing about the issues with insurance is Puerto Rico. But I'm sure there's other teams as well that are having issues getting their athletes insured and able to play in this competition. I just wish it could be like not that. I wish it could be like, let's take all the best players from all their respective countries and actually have this competition instead of going, well, he's on a strict pitch count as the season is coming up and they're paying him a lot of money and he's got to. So I'm manifesting just an intense, great baseball game. In the final will be the United States against Japan. That's my manifest.
All right.
Bad Bunny tried. He tried to pay the insurance fees for Carlos Correa and Francisco Lindor, and team management was like, this is a terrible idea. Please don't do this.
I will also say, what's up with that hammate bone? We should make a parody, the hammate's tale, because all of a sudden, like 6 baseball players on the same day were like, yeah, they're out with an injury to their hammate bone. Like, I've literally never heard of that. Assume I've got one in here somewhere. Why is everybody's hammate bone
Is that the
injured?
one that Lindor had to get surgery on?
Yes.
It doesn't do anything.
It's like, what's
it's
it
a
even
useless bone.
here
You
for?
break
Sorry,
it
I
and they
heard-
just take it out. Like, it only exists to get hit by a baseball and broken.
Which one is it, Brady? Where is
It's
it?
like
on
one of the million bones in like the wrist in the lower hand that are
Yeah.
all just kind of lumped together. They can just take it out and it doesn't matter.
So do so. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? Chris, what are you manifesting?
So the Australian football season begins next week, and
Whoa.
do you all remember the name of the player that we were following early on last
Jasper-
season? Close.
Come on, Isabella.
Jag?
We can do this.
Moves like
Jagger.
Jagger Smith.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, the former number 3 overall draft pick that my daughter
following
fell
him
in love
closely.
with.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Follow him on
who got
Instagram.
injured in the preseason last year and was out all year. He played in our preseason game this morning, was easily the best on the field.
Let's
Just
go.
looked incredible.
Let's
I
go.
am manifesting for this season for him to win the Rising Star Award, which is the award given to like the best young player in the league. I think he's one of the favorites for it. He's going to be fantastic. We're going to go to Australia later this year. I'm going to take my daughter to a game, and hopefully she can watch him play in person, because when I had the game on this morning, she kept asking, she's like, is Jagger Smith playing in this game? Because she asked me whenever I have any sort of sport on, is Jagger Smith playing?
That's great.
And I'm like, this
WBC,
is
she's like,
yeah,
is Jagger
exactly.
Smith
Like,
playing?
not quite. But I actually got to show her Jagger Smith play for 5 minutes before she went to school this morning. So
Amazing.
that was a lot of fun.
Amazing.
Manifesting rising star win for Jagger
Let's
Smith
go,
in
Jagger
2026.
Smith. A beautiful story that will ultimately be hilarious if he ends up coming back and playing and she still does not care. And it like, still doesn't hook her. And she's like, I forgot about this guy and I don't care. Obviously, not what I'm manifesting. Brady, what are you manifesting?
I was worried that Isabella and I would have completely opposite manifestations. I want one thing this baseball season. I want 50 home runs from Pete Alonso.
Whatever.
Our big, meaty signee that came over from the Mets. We had no right-handed hitters for the Orioles that could hit home runs last year, which is exactly where my kids and I sit every time we go to Camden Yards, and no one hits home runs there. I want 50 from Pete Alonso. That means that everything has gone right, the signing worked out, and that team's going to go far.
Yeah.
Let's do it, Pete.
Did you see John Oliver on some late night show in an interview saying that his son loved Pete Alonso, and then when he got, was it traded or signed there in free agency, right? It was free agency.
Yeah, he got signed.
He said, like, can I just root for the Orioles?
And Pete released a video on social today that invited John to, there's plenty of room on the Orioles bandwagon.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. Yeah, I saw that and I thought of Brady. I was like, damn, Brady's going to be insufferable this baseball season.
All the polar bear.
Really going to be.
April 13th in LA is Hello Kitty bobblehead or Hello Kitty hoodie giveaway.
Okay, that's different, Isabella.
Oh, it's a hoodie.
Yeah. So now what? Now where do we stand?
Oh, Hello Kitty, anything is kind of cute.
Yeah, Hello Kitty all the time. Actually, Isabella's eyes lit up today. A caller called into fan service, my radio show that I do every day, noon to 1 Eastern on Mad Dog Sports Radio on Sirius XM. They called in and they were talking about make the puck glow again. Casual fans need to be able to see the puck. They said you should at least make it like if you're live streaming the game, you can add the option to make the puck glow. And I was like, oh, that's really smart because them bringing it back to the main broadcast, I can't imagine is going to happen or go over well because they took a lot of heat when this was Fox back in the 90s, I believe, that made the puck glow. They also had if it was a slap shot, it had a tail on it to try to help people, casual fans, locate the puck and follow the sport better. And they were kind of relentlessly made fun of for it. It's not remembered fondly, but it's a good idea. And in the world of streaming where you can turn things on and off, I don't see why they can't just add that if it's as simple enough as tracking the puck. And I said, I'd take it a step further. You should make people be able to make the puck whatever they want. So I said, make it be like a little Hello Kitty head that goes back and forth. And when I said that, Isabella was like, I would watch. I would watch. If they make the puck a little Hello Kitty, I would
Because I
watch.
cannot see that. I cannot see that. So I am on the team of can we light it up or something?
Yeah,
Because
make it more make it flash, make it sparkle.
Yeah.
Let me choose. Can't we use in a world where we're going to put our whole economy into AI? Can't we make it help us do this to turn the puck into somebody's face to watch it bouncing around the? Can't we have fun with it? I don't know. I guess the answer is probably no, but let's take a break and decide. We're taking our first break. When we come back, we're basically just going to be mean to owners. I don't know. I didn't set it up this way, but all kind of the big stories are about owners doing something stupid. So we will get to that here on Casuals in just a second. It's our first break. We'll be right back. And we're back. Okay. Let's get to some of these news stories before we welcome in our guest, which I'll remind you is Sophia Kirkby, an actual Olympian. An Olympian has decided to join us today, and I'm very excited. I have 1,000 questions to ask her. But first, there was this story on Friday. Artie Moreno, by the way, ARTE is art. So if you want it to be Artie, buddy, you got to either put a Y at the end or an I between the T and the E. All right? That's Art Moreno, but that's fine.
Can't spell party without Artie.
Yeah, sure. This guy sounds like a real fun time. On Friday, Artie Moreno told reporters, quote, again, he owns the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, which maybe Brady can explain to Isabella how we got that name. But
The
anyway,
Angels?
yes.
So
On Friday, he said, the number one thing fans want is affordability. They want affordability, they want safety, and they want a good experience when they come to the ballpark. Believe it or not, winning is not in their top 5. He cited surveys that they have conducted, and he said, we've done the work, we've done the research, and this is what the surveys have shown. Although they didn't tell anybody about the surveys, nobody else has seen the surveys. We don't know how many people were surveyed or what they were asked to get this sort of response. Pretty vague, but hey, I guess they're doing the work. The MLB Players Association, so that's the union that represents the players, said, let's just say players took notice of it. Bruce Meyer, who is the new head of the association, the PA, because remember we talked about Tony Clark potentially sleeping with his wife's sister or his brother's, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, who worked for the team. That was the actual issue that they cited. He said, Bruce Meyer took over and said, let's just say players took notice of it and we took notice of it too. Fascinating to me. Can I just say that, like, I could see a world where Angels fans say, yeah, winning isn't the most important thing to me, because they've had to get there. They've had to get themselves to that place. Because if they go into the building, I mean, this is a team, Isabella, that had Mike Trout, who we've told you about, an incredible player, and Shohei Ohtani at the same time on the same team. And if the fans expected wins, that's when they would have expected it and they would have been very disappointed. I think that is exactly what happened. So they've got great attendance. They've got to, they've just had to accept that, like, winning isn't going to be in the cards for them. So if ownership is like, what matters to you in a survey when you come to a game, I guess you would say, like, yeah, I don't mind if they don't win the game I'm at. I'd like tickets to be more affordable. I'd like food to be a little cheaper. Parking could be easier. You know, transportation to the stadium. There's so many things somebody could put before did they win the game when it comes to your in-stadium experience, which is what it sounds to me, just deducing because we have to, because they don't show us the survey. That sounds to me why you would say winning doesn't matter. If they were asked overall, when it comes to the baseball, would you like us to try? I think they would say yes. Yes, I would like to think and just trust that you're doing everything you can to put together a good team and to put together a team that is capable of achieving wins on the baseball field. I don't think a single baseball fan would say, no, I actually really don't care. And what's insidious a bit about this is that they pinned it on mothers. Do you see that specific part? Where they were like, mummies, basically mommies come in and they don't care if they win or not. They want a good day for the family. Everyone's together. What? Diehards care. You know, people who really love baseball care, but the mommies actually don't care. So we're going to stop trying to win. Anyway, that's the end of the press conference. Anything else you guys wanted to ask me? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm not a mommy, so I can't speak for them. I know many mommies who love baseball, and they would love their team to win. That's just absurd to say moms actually don't care, and so we're no longer going to put together a baseball team of professional baseball players because that's too expensive, and they want us to make ticket prices cheaper, so we couldn't possibly spend more money. Patently, transparently absurd. Am I wrong? Anybody want to take up Artie's side here?
No, thank you. No, thank you.
No?
No.
Man, we do need one voice of someone to just go, won't somebody defend?
We don't have a billionaire here.
Won't somebody defend the billionaires? Well, then let's go in on another one, shall we? Mark Cuban, minority owner of the Dallas Mavericks. Okay, so he used to be a majority owner. Now he is a minority owner, but technically still an owner in terms of a basketball team, the Dallas Mavericks. He posted on Twitter last week defending tanking in the NBA and explained why the NBA should embrace tanking. Now, tanking, for anyone who doesn't know, is when a team basically doesn't try to win because they want a better shot at getting a higher draft pick for the next year. So it's basically sacrificing this game, this week of games, or the end of this season in order to position yourself, because the worse you finish the season, the better your chances are for getting an early pick in the draft, which gets you the best of the talent that's entering the league. Does that make enough sense, Isabella, for the context?
Yep.
Chris?
And normally it's not about the players not trying, it's about the organization not putting those players in the right position to succeed.
Right. They'll either like bench their starters who aren't really hurt, or they'll like exaggerate an injury, or they'll put like playing time restrictions on their players that are their stars. Basically, at the end of it, it's sacrificing the game that's happening today for a future game, a future team, and making the team stronger. Mark Cuban went on like a very long tweet rant. And I'm sorry, but as soon as we got rid of the character limit on Twitter, it's like, what are we? This is a blog post. I'm now reading the blog post. And we're calling it a tweet, but it's not. This is a blog post. It had a title. It said, like, why NBA teams should embrace tanking. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you because we only have an hour, and it's very long. But he said, fans know their team can't win every game. They know only one team can win a ring. What fans that care about their team's record want is hope. Hope they will get better and have a chance to compete for the playoffs and then maybe a ring. We didn't tank often, only a few times over 23 years. But when we did, our fans appreciated it. He also invoked Luka as a name they were able to get because of the tanking. Very interesting, because where is Luka now? Not there. So an interesting point to be made about the future of your team. We would never have gotten Luka if it weren't for, so you never would have traded him in the dead of night either. Here's my thing, and this is with Artie Moreno, and it's also with Mark Cuban, and it's just like a hard line that seems to me more obvious, but is not coming up a lot. As soon as these leagues, all of them are, get in bed with gambling companies, right? Have these this is the official sports book of Major League Baseball, the official sports book of the NBA. Look, at first I was like, that shouldn't be allowed. And then I realized, well, if the players can be, it's like everybody wants to be able to get their cut of the business that's being built on the sport. Fine, I'll accept it, I guess, okay? But as soon as you start doing that, you cannot say anything other than the game at hand is what matters. You have to protect the integrity of the sport. People are putting their money on the outcome of that game. And if the outcome of that game is going to be different because you're tanking in an effort to get a better pick next year, well, now we're talking about integrity. Now the integrity of the game is not being protected. And as soon as the integrity of the game is called into question, when gambling is happening, the special, perfect little thing you have, which is the sport, is completely ruined. So it's shocking to me to hear any owners even entertaining the idea that winning is not the most important thing for the team, because you can't allow gambling and also allow people to not try unless they want to. Everybody has to go out there and play by the rules of this game today. Whether the mommy in the crowd wants to see it or not, somebody is putting money on it, and if you're tanking it, and you're not trying to win, well, then there's not really any what are we gambling on? The outcome is predetermined in that case. You've said you're not going to try to win. Sure, they can pull it off and win anyway, but it's just like, this is too much. The water is getting very muddy. Am I nuts that that's the first thing I think of and it seems immediately obvious to me?
The first thing I thought of was when the NBA trade deadline came and the Bucks declared that Giannis wasn't getting traded. And then the next day, Giannis announced that he had a partnership with the big predictions market. Ooh, that was a bad look.
It's just like, I don't know, as a sports fan, you resist it for long enough and then you go like, well, this is clearly here. You know, I'm flipping through TikTok and the algorithm has picked up on the fact that I like sports because of the content that I engage with. And I keep getting hit with these Kalshi ads that are using very specific phrasing to say, did you know it's legal to... I'm not going to say that I don't remember but it was like predict on sports in all 50 states. And you're like, well, it's not legal to gamble on sports in all 50 states, so something weird's happening here. And I don't even want to get into it because Kalshi defenders will be like, technically it's the freest possible market because you're not going to a sports book, you're actually buying the bet from another person who wants and I don't care or know what that is. All I know is it's clearly a workaround to try to tap into money that's not being sent to sports books because they can't in their state and take that money and put it into this. So the whole thing is a mess, and I don't know. I feel surprised by the fact that, like, I'll allow it to a point, but I feel like when is anybody going to finally stand up to this and go like, hey, we can't do this because of the implications of everything that come with it. It just feels like everyone's willing to keep milking a cow that's like, hello, I'm out of milk. I need a day. I need to fill back up with milk. We need to play the games so that the money from the games can be made instead of continuing to let people go, I want more, I want more, I want more. Everybody's being greedy. Ticket prices haven't gone down in forever. Maybe we could just do that. You know, if you're going to say, Artie Moreno, that fans don't care about winning, so we're not going to spend money on players. They have not, I think, since he's been the owner of the team, I don't think they've been over the luxury tax once. They've never been accused of spending money. At least since the early 2000s.
One of their problems was they spent money poorly. They gave Anthony Rendon that big deal.
Jesus Christ, we didn't even mention that. A guy who's like, I don't know, baseball's like a job. I don't even like doing it. And they were like, sign him up for a long contract with lots of money. There's no way he won't come to work.
They just had to pay him this year to not play.
I know.
They're like, we'll pay you to not show up and rehab. You can just, the end of your contract, just go.
National nightmare. Just crazy. And then while we're going in on owners, football. the NFL. Remember we talked about this before, the report cards? Every year, the NFLPA would conduct these surveys of players, and they would rank their teams or give their teams grades on certain areas of the team's function. So it would be like their locker rooms, their facilities, their food, their child care, their, all the ownership. And they would put together this information, and then the NFLPA would publish it. Well, the NFL was like, stop doing that, actually. I actually don't like when you tell people that we suck at stuff. I'm not into it. So they took them, they filed a grievance against the NFLPA, and they won. So they have effectively banned the union from publishing future player report cards. The report cards are usually released, they take them during the season, and I think they release them after the season, Brady. I really don't remember.
Yeah, it's an off-season thing.
Yeah. So they're not going to release them anymore. However, they have said they will continue to do the report card. They're still going to distribute their survey. They're still going to take and they can even distribute it to players and teams. But we, the fan, will no longer be able to see what the teams are being graded. An arbitrator found that the report cards violated the collective bargaining agreement by, quote, disparaging NFL clubs and individuals. The arbitrator found that the report cards were, quote, designed by the union to advance its interests under the guise of a scientific exercise, which is good lawyering, but like its interests are the interests of the players, which should also be the interests of ownership. So that's nuts to me. An adversarial relationship, obviously, between the unions and the players. It makes sense in terms of CBA negotiations, but we are all technically working towards the same common goal, just to make those mommies happy. We don't have to win to do that. Just make them happy. The NFLPA refused to produce data related to previous surveys. The union's witness and counsel admitted that the union cherry-picked topics and responses to include in the report cards. So, that's happening. No more report cards. The big headlines from these, if you'll recall, if you're new here, I think they started doing them in around 2023, maybe. But the 2023 Atlanta Falcons ranked 24th in the league because of their poor facilities. And then after back-to-back poor performances in these report cards, they announced a $30 million facilities upgrade. And by 2025, they rocketed up to third overall in facilities. So to me, it's like, that's public pressure doing its job. Going like, if they say your facilities suck, you guys need to work on this. And then they did. If you don't publish those studies, there's no public pressure pushing back on a team and making them do that. Interesting. The Patriots in 2025 had the second lowest grade, primarily because of their team plane, which lacked Wi-Fi. I wish there was somewhere we could always complain about that. I know there's like a famous bit from a comedian about you should be grateful. You're like flying through the sky. Like, my Wi-Fi doesn't work. It's like we are being lifted in a short amount of time from one place to another. Sorry you can't get to your email. But once it became like easy to do and every plane had Wi-Fi, it does suck when you're up there and you're like, shit, I'd counted on this. I told them I'd get back to their email while I was in the sky, and now I can't.
I can never get the Wi-Fi to work.
It sucks that every airline's different, where it's like some of them want you to use, for a while they were all using that go-go. So I would just buy a bunch of passes on the ground and then deploy them in the sky, because I noticed if you buy the Wi-Fi in the sky, this is how it used to be, not anymore, they would charge you more because they're like, you're stuck. You need it. It's going to be $18, whereas on the ground it was $5,
If you don't tell me there's Wi-Fi and there's no Wi-Fi, it's fine.
Right.
But if you tell me there's Wi-Fi and then I get up there and like, oh, by the way, it doesn't work. Hope you downloaded all your shit first.
It's like, can you email my boss? Can you email my boss and let them know? Because I thought that I was going to have Wi-Fi for this, and they're waiting to hear from me. The Patriots have not yet fixed this, but Robert Kraft, the owner, did say we want everything we do to be top of the heap and first class. They've done a lot of good, but they do need an upgrade. So Robert Kraft admitted that they need to fix that. That's all because of the report cards. The Bengals, remember the Bengals this year got a treatment of families grade of F-.
Why?
F-. I didn't know that was possible. I thought that was something you just joked about the bad kid in class getting. It's like, F isn't low enough. You got an F-. And for it to be in the category of treatment of families really makes you think that they may have had something to do with this, getting rid of it behind closed doors. Because the last thing you want is like, your Cincinnati Bengals treat the families of the players F-. That's not good. They're the only team that doesn't offer daycare during home games or a family room during home games. Like, just go mix it up with the fans. Take your kids out there and mix it up with the fans. Have fun. So hopefully they fix that. But again, we don't know, and we haven't heard yet. Interesting, though, in 2024, the New York Jets were ranked 21st overall, with one of their worst grades coming from the food and the cafeteria. They got a C-. They then, in 2025, did it change? Yes, they dropped to 29th. Players believed that management responded to feedback by making conditions worse.
Jesus.
They felt the team cut the food budget and did not retain their longtime dietitian, who was previously their highest-rated staff member. Then that dietitian took a full-time role with the Chiefs and improved their food program significantly. Jets ownership grade dropped from 2024's B- to 2025's F, with Woody Johnson receiving the league's lowest owner score for contributing to a positive team culture. So penisy penis, Woody Johnson strikes again. And I feel like that's got to be the guy at the head of the charge who's like, listen, these guys are riding us to make our living situation sustainable. These guys want way too much food they can eat, and we can't have that. So let's get rid of these report cards. And then would you look at that? They got rid of the report cards. Interesting.
You guys want better conditions? F you, we're signing Justin Fields. How about that?
Wild.
Good God.
Yeah, not great. Speaking of football, Brady, come on, make us care, because I don't. The combine is underway.
I enjoy how weird it is that NFL Network, if you were flipping through cable on NFL Network, you just see guys sprinting in their underwear for 4 straight days. They're just broadcasting guys running in a straight line. And then they'll switch it up. It's guys in their underwear running 10 yards, turning right, turning left, and then coming back.
Yeah.
I know you
For 4
guys
days.
taught me this last year, but I'm
gonna
so
ask, what do you
sorry.
retain?
It went in one year and I think it went out. Basically, it's like a oh my God, it sounds messed up, but it's kind of like a pageant for like the players
That are coming into the league.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
basically
yeah.
checking, like, how high can this one jump? How
Yeah,
fast
yeah.
can this one run? How explosive off the line is this underwear boy?
Wait, they wear
Yeah.
underwear the whole time?
Well, it's like shorts.
It's like spandex shorts.
Yeah.
And then half the dudes will do it shirtless and like you're just
Okay.
running in your underwear.
They're not in like boxers with a hole at the front. You know what I mean? They're not like.
The risk is low.
Definitely wasn't thinking that.
Well, I know. Sometimes people were like, "Well, I'd tune in for that if we're maybe gonna get if something might go
Throw a wild card
awry."
out there.
You know, it's like watching the guy do the high wire walk or do the free solo. It's like maybe he slips and falls. It's like
The
maybe,
pole vaulter where just maybe you're
Yeah.
Did they ever do skin fold checks in the
I'm
NFL Combine?
sorry.
like
Wait,
an English
I'm
I'm
bulldog.
sorry.
Wait.
Okay, so here we go.
I'm
So
sorry.
the Australian
Good God.
version of the Combine, right? And I don't think they do it anymore. I think they stopped doing this a couple of years ago, but they measured the fat on the players
Yo.
just to
Oh,
see
like with the
how
little pincher, the little
And you
caliper?
called that skin fold checks?
test, skin fold test, skin fold check, something like that. Yeah.
Because
Wait,
to
like
me,
they
a
would-
I
skin
think they do
fold
it
check
in-
is like lifting one up to see if there's any like
No,
cheese.
test.
Which English bulldog problems? Yes, I'm
Yeah,
familiar
right.
with skin fold checks, but
Right.
I'm not sure how it ports to football players.
Damn. So they were doing their like body fat.
Can we move on?
Yes, let's move on. I want to turn our attention now one more time to Milano Cortina and the Winter Olympics while we welcome in our guest today, truly one of the most captivating personalities and athletes to grace the Olympic Village. She's a member of the U.S. luge team, recently won the United States' first ever World Cup in women's doubles luge, and finished 5th in the debut Olympics for women's doubles luge. But you may know her for famously looking for love in a hopeless place, parentheses, the Olympic Village. It's our new friend, Sophia Kirkby. Sophia, welcome to Casuals.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on here.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Very exciting. Let's start by talking about your sport. This was the first Olympics for women's doubles luge. Can you talk a little bit? We're a podcast for casual sports fans. Can you talk a little bit about what makes doubles luge special and specific, why it's different from the other luge? Obviously, it's 2 people, but like what that means for the sport, and then how you got into that type of luging specifically.
What makes luge so special is that it is the childhood activity that we as humans took to the next level. I compete in women's doubles luge, which just made its Olympic debut for the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympics. I was so proud to be part of that. It made me feel very honored to have been one of the first to create this path of women participating in this sport that we just didn't have before. Doubles luge was an open category. However, all the spots were taken by men because in my sport, strength and weight are huge factors when it comes to fast times.
Huh. That actually makes a lot of sense. So you're saying like being bigger makes you go faster down the sled? Do I sound like
Correct.
an idiot talking about luge?
Well, you're sledding down a hill and gravity is just your friend here.
Yeah. So so stacking two women atop each other is actually helpful, right? That helps you weigh down and go faster, I assume?
So having two women on one sled stacked on each other, it's just a different category, I could say.
Yeah.
Because we're less aerodynamic than a singles athlete because we have more of a drag. But since it's two people, we are a lot heavier, and that can be both beneficial or it can cause what's called top heavy problems because now we're more likely to crash in some situations than you could get away with doing singles.
What's the process of finding your partner that you're going to do that with? Like, do you have to like the person, or have there been doubles luge teams that absolutely hate each other, but when push comes to shove, they stack on up and go down the track?
The development of luge partners is different in everyone's situation. In mine and my partner's situation, the pandemic was just happening, and women's doubles luge hadn't been officially named to the next Olympics. However, there was talks and discussion. And we had only one women doubles luge sled at the time. And our coaches wanted to begin a program where we had more sleds because you don't just want to have one, you want to have backups as well. So they put me and my competitor, Siobhan Forgan, together because we had done singles like everyone else. You begin doing singles when you're a child. And so we were put together for our height differences and the way we both learned how to drive. We learned from the same sets of coaches roughly on the same track. So it was a good fit, and we were able to surpass the previous women's team, and we got the team position for the Olympics.
So exciting. I mean, to be a part of the first Olympics of the sport, that's got to be, I mean, you'll remember this forever. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So exciting. You grew up in Lake Placid, New York, right? That's where you got that's where the Winter Olympic bug bit you. What a city to have that happen.
Right. I'm from this area.
Yeah, amazing. I've been there. I went there. I used to go there for my brother's hockey tournaments. And I remember looking up at those huge ski jumps and being like, damn, that's crazy. It's such a cool place, Lake Placid. I love it. And people should go if they get the chance. One of the things that sort of put you on our radar is that I loved this, that you used social media in a way to be like, hey, so I'm here at the Olympic Village. Lots of people are here at the Olympic Village. I'm single and ready to mingle, and I'd like to meet some people. What was that experience like going through that on social media during the Olympics when everybody's eyes are on Milano Cortina?
It was a lot of fun for me because I'm a pretty open girl. I have so many friends. I will tell them what's going on in my life because it's just fun and good to catch up. And then they get to know a little bit about me. So I came up with the idea of sharing about my dating experience and just trying to reach out and find dates because the dating selection where I live is slim pickings. And my event was one of the first events done at the Olympics. Like my event was completed on February 12th and closing ceremony was the 22nd. So I had 10 days to run around and do whatever I wanted. And I was stuck in Cortina. Well, not stuck. I was gracefully given the opportunity to stay longer, which is not what all nations have.
Yeah.
A lot of the luge athletes left the next day, but I was in Cortina. I wanted to make the most of it. I wanted to go on fun dates and meet cute boys, and I didn't have a single bad date, which is a great success.
Let's talk about the dates because, listen, I was worried about you. I heard that a fan responded to your I don't want to say plea, that makes you sound desperate, and you're not. You just let people know you were single. A fan was like, I'll come to you. I will get an Airbnb near the Olympic Village, and I want to take you on a date. And I was like, okay, but at the same time, like, where are you getting the money to come out here and do that on a whim? How are you getting the money to get an Airbnb that's right near the village? And then also, what if this guy's just like not a good guy? And so I want to hear about how these dates went and how you navigated this. You guys went to the spa for your first date?
We went to the spa for the first date.
Yeah. How was it? Did you go on another date? Are you still dating him? Where do we stand?
After the Olympics, I had a great experience of meeting new people and just taking daily risks. Like I wanted to put myself out there and say that I made the most of it. And I was very entertained. I met lots of new people and I went on so many dates. Like I didn't eat all 3 meals in the Olympic Village after my event. I was always going out and doing something with someone. And I understand your concerns with the guy who came in from the UK. I saw his DM right before I blew up. And
okay. That makes
I
sense.
was in, like, this was back when I had 3,000 followers, which is
Right.
crazy to say was 1 month ago.
Whoa. What are you at
And
now?
I'm at like 53,000.
Damn, girl. Okay.
And so with the guy from the UK, he had messaged me before I had too many followers, and I wasn't going to message him back. I just saw the request. But I was in doping control for my last World Cup, meaning I was randomly selected to provide a sample to make sure that we are doing clean sport. And I was with my other girls that got selected, and we're just waiting forever. This time it took a long time. They only had one tester.
Ugh.
And I got bored, and I whipped out my phone. I was like, okay, look, let's entertain ourselves. Let's see what these boys have been messaging me.
And so you saw this guy, and I assume he was your type. He was cute.
You know what? His profile picture was not very detailed,
Okay.
and he didn't post any pictures. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to talk to this guy. He had a great opener, but I was showing my competitors, the top woman for the Latvian team. I was just like, look at this. And then she goes, like, he said something really nice. Also, he's cute. And I'm like, it's not a great picture. She goes, you should message him. And I go, no, I'm not going to message him. She goes, message him. I go, okay.
And so you did. And so you went
So I did.
on a spa date. And we wish him the best of luck, or we're still texting him.
He's a good character. I still message him here and there.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, would you say it was a success being the most eligible bachelorette in the Olympic Village?
I would say it was a huge success being known as the Olympics' most eligible bachelorette for the 2026 games.
It was super fun to follow, I will say. It got me thinking about, like, wishing there was a reality show that, like, followed the singles that were in the Olympic Village, because you guys are all, like, athletes at the peak of your physical capabilities. Feels like, you know, they're always giving away condoms, which, by the way, is that misreported when they say, like, they ran out of condoms within the first week? Is that something you guys are, like, talking about in the Village? Or are you like, look, we don't even use theirs, we bring our own? It just feels like a storyline we're always talking about with the Olympics. And I wonder, from an Olympian, if it boots on the ground, if you're noticing that, like, damn, they're out of condoms.
For a souvenir, I wanted to grab a couple condoms. This is something I've done for multiple Olympics. I have condoms that go back to the 2020 Lausanne Winter Youth Games. And so I've been fun by the condoms. It's just fun packaging. Like the condom is separate, and it's usually in a paper packaging that the Olympics made themselves. You know, you got this like cool Olympic paper, and it's so lightweight, it's easy to travel with. And then it's funny, there's like, you know, you got the Olympic rings on one side, and then you have an instruction manual on the other. So a great also gift for my friends, my girlfriends. I wanted to grab some. But with my event was a couple days later than our singles luge athletes. So I was in Germany training until the day before opening ceremony. And the condoms were gone. They were out.
No way, before the opening ceremony.
Mm-hmm. But I think part of that is I looked at the amount that was brought to the games, and it was 10,000, which you may think that that's a lot, and it is a lot of condoms. But in comparison to what I read in articles from Paris, I don't know exact for sure, but a lot of news articles were saying that they had 200,000 condoms for Paris. And that's just a huge proportional difference. You have one retired, I believe he was a skater. He said that he stole 3,000 condoms for souvenirs.
Oh my God, 3,000 condoms.
Yeah, I wonder how big his suitcase was for that one. But, you know, you'll just have people that grab so many, and it's not that they're going to use it. It's that it's a fun insider souvenir that was free.
Thank you for this, because it has proven a theory I've had, which is like, just because you're grabbing a bunch doesn't mean you're out here using them. People are always reporting they flew through 10,000 condoms. And you're like, I don't know if factually that lines up. It's that they've just taken them because why wouldn't you want the Olympic rings on one side and the instructions on how to use a condom on the other side? You're absolutely right. It's perfect memorabilia. It's not the only memorabilia that you get involved with. You've got your ceramics side business. And what I thought was really sweet is that you kind of partnered with a local place in Italy to help sell your pins that you were making. For casual fans who don't know about the pin culture that surrounds the Olympics, can you sort of explain what that is and how it works?
Sure. The pin culture for the Olympics is very traditional. It's been used for decades now, and what this is it's a small, simple item that often have personalized designs or designs made by the Olympic countries themselves. People, fans, and athletes are able to trade with each other, and it almost becomes a currency during the games. And it's just such an embedded tradition now that it's well known and it's a fun side quest or activity you can do while being at the Olympics.
Yeah, how important is it to have a hobby like that when you're competing at such a high level? Does it help keep you grounded and well-rounded as a person?
Having a hobby outside of my Olympic sport has been very beneficial to me when it comes to items that I may want and my own mental health.
Yeah.
I was able to just take my thoughts away from sport. I was able to put my mind to something else. And for some activities, my fingers get really muddy. So it's also a great way for me to stay off my phone.
God, that's so true. I honestly feel like most of my hobbies at this point in my life are to keep me from picking up my stupid phone that I'm constantly looking at and scrolling on. So that resonates. Can we get those pins that you made for women's double luge on your Etsy shop? Or are those just like if you were in Italy, you can have them, but we don't sell them outside of that?
I have plenty of pins available on my Amazon handmade page.
Okay, Amazon Handmade. We'll have to look for that and go get some of those pins.
My pins and just any pins, they truly do become a currency. Believe it or not, I didn't do my laundry once
What?
in the Olympics. I was paying people in pins to do my laundry for me. I would drop it off. I'd give them a handful of pins. And I said, look, can this just be in the basket over here in the dry section? Because they would monitor, they would make sure that if it was wet, they would just keep running the dryers. They were very helpful, our volunteers in the laundromat. So it was just simple, and they were there and they were happy to do it. I would drop off my laundry, I'd put it in the washer. Sometimes I wouldn't even be the one that started the button. They would hit the button starter. And then at the end of the day, I would collect my clean, dried laundry on the shelf.
Amazing. All of that powered by pins.
And I also did other services, like I brought my own handmade cappuccino cups, and I would get a cappuccino cup from the stand. We had a coffee stand so they could make us fresh coffee, which was awesome. But I didn't really have a way to wash it. So I bribed the kitchen staff to wash my cappuccino cups for me in the Olympic Village.
With cups? Like you gave them more, or you gave them pins?
I gave them pins.
Yeah.
I gave them pins to wash my cups for me.
Amazing. I mean, look, it's bartering. It's a perfect barter system. You brought the stuff and you used it to make things happen for you. Very resourceful.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to call myself the pin trading queen, because I quite literally made my own currency.
Amazing. In general, did the Olympic Village live up to the hype for you? We heard a lot about the lava cake. I don't know if there was another food item that you liked from the village.
We did not have lava cake in my village. My village's specialty was tiramisu.
Oh, okay. So was it good tiramisu?
It was great tiramisu.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed, especially some of the items like the apple juice. It was an Italian company that had provided the apple juice, and it was like some of the best pressed apple juice of my life. Like I had to limit myself to 2 a day.
You had to cut yourself off. No more apple juice. God, how good is a good apple juice, though? Underrated as a juice once you become like an adult. People drink it less, but it's so good.
Especially like fresh apple juice or apple cider.
Oh, I know. All right, let's talk about the Olympics at large. Did you get to go, because I know you stayed longer, did you get to go to other events and see them live in person, or were you more just like experiencing the city and not focused as much on the actual games?
I kept a good balance, in my opinion. I only went to the events in Cortina because it wasn't as easy for me logistics to go to other events since we were so spread out when it came to the towns and the hosting locations. So I saw bobsled and curling. The only events that I missed was the skiing and skeleton. Skeleton was the day right after mine, so I was recovering. And skiing, I was on my way. I was walking right to it. And these two media women who I have bumped into because they work directly with the IOC, they were getting on a bus and they're like, hey, we're about to go grab drinks at the top of the mountain. You want to join us? And I was going to go watch Michaela. She was doing her gold medal event.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, yeah, I feel like grabbing a drink on a mountain. So I just chose that one instead.
Damn. And listen, in hindsight, maybe not the right call, but at the moment when you get confronted with something like that and you go like, you know what? It's like when you try to go ski and someone's like, well, I'm actually headed in to grab a drink and sit in the jacuzzi at the après ski. And you're like, yeah, I think I'll just skip the skiing and I'll go straight to grabbing a drink. So completely relatable and understandable decision that you made. Was there a moment during the Olympics, other than obviously the debut of your sport and how fantastic that is, that you will always remember? Was there like whether you watched it on TV or streaming or anything, just something from this Olympics that you really loved as a moment?
From the Olympics, I think I loved everything.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good Olympics this year.
I was journaling everything. Almost every night I would journal what happened with my day. And that just helped me have a better memory of what I did each day. And now I have a log that I can go back to and I can almost mentally relive.
Yeah, that's really smart. It's really smart. I'm glad you did it. It's one of those things I always say I'm going to do and then I don't do. And you're right, when it's a 2-week event like that with so much going on and so much other stuff you've got to focus on, you'll think you'll remember it. If you don't write it down, it can be hard to do. So amazing that you did that, and that'll be so fun to look back at. Alana Myers-Taylor was a great story that we all loved, and we're rooting for her to finally go and get her gold, and she did in monobob. Stupid question. I'm prefacing it with that because I know it's a stupid question. But for people that aren't as familiar with the sliding sports, is like, do the skills translate? Like as a doubles luge, when you look at skeleton or you look at monobob, are you like, these are close enough, I could make it work? Or are they so different that you couldn't possibly have your skills translate to either, like other sports?
Personally, I have never done bobsled or skeleton in the driving positions. I was a brake woman for one athlete that just wanted to get some runs in. However, I've never driven. And I've only been told by like a coach that we had, he coached luge and bobsled, and now he's just one of our workers at the Olympic Training Center. He said that I could drive a bobsled or skeleton, no problem.
Okay.
But that's just coach's thoughts. That's not my own thoughts or experience.
Sure.
It's just that from his perspective, he goes, yeah, you could drive it very well. Because I have been doing this sport since I was 8.
Oh my God.
And bobsledders begin oftentimes after college when they're 22 or so. So I have the driving theory locked in where they're just learning and picking it up when they're 20 or so.
Okay, so this could be a future turn that we see from you.
No, I'm most likely not going to do bobsled.
Okay, all right, fine. I just thought it'd be exciting.
Those guys are big and muscly. I'm muscly, but they're muscly in the legs. Meanwhile, I have the traps. My mother was a gymnast, so I have her lats.
Huh. Did you try gymnastics?
Nope.
No.
I did figure skating before I did luge. Okay. So it was really fun. I got to see Alyssa Liu and Amber. I chatted with them here and there. Saw them on the security line and just chatted about a few things. I told Alyssa, I was like, oh yeah, I really loved your routine. I did skating before I switched over to luge when I was 8.
And was she like, oh, that's so cool?
Yeah. She was like, oh, that's so cool. She's like, so what's your sport? I told her doubles luge. And it's just really fun, the crossovers with other sports and just comparing how crazy we think each other are.
Yeah. And it's been so fun to watch from over here. Just like the people get to know you guys. It's been so fun to be like, yeah, that's our figure skater and that's our loot. Like, it's been so great. And you guys were what an amazing Olympics and an amazing experience. And thank you for coming here and talking to us about it. last thing I'll ask you is what's next for Sophia Kirkby? Are you taking a nice vacation?
I do plan to take a vacation. I haven't decided exactly what I'm doing yet, but I'm thinking about booking a flight this weekend to the UK. We'll see.
I wonder what that could be. I wonder what you could be doing in the UK.
In the UK, I would be visiting a boy.
Okay, then. Well, we're going to wish you the best of luck with that and with your sport. And thank you again, Sophia, for being here with us. Congratulations on everything and continued success in the future.
Thank you.
And we're back. I mean, wow, that was so great. Thank you again to Sophia Kirkby for beaming in here and telling us about her experience in the Olympic Village, which really sounds wonderful. Okay, we have to let these people go, Brady and Chris and Isabella. People have stuff to do. They got to go, but we want to see if they saw that. So here in the final segment, we're going to do one of our favorites called Did You See That? Which is really kind of a vague concept where you can write in and ask us if we saw something, or we can just put stories we didn't get to in this part. So we're going to start with, did you see that Pat Riley got a statue in L.A.? Legendary Lakers coach, current Miami Heat president Pat Riley was honored with a statue outside of Crypto.com Arena, which is where the Lakers play, on Sunday. And the nearly 8-foot-tall, 510-pound bronze rendering features the famously stylish Riley in his preferred attire, a Giorgio Armani suit. We actually got a voicemail about this, I believe.
Yep.
Let's listen.
Hi, it's Cammy in LA. Love you, mean it. Did you guys see that the Lakers gave Pat Riley a statue of Nicolas Cage for some reason? I mean, congrats to both of them, I guess.
I mean, truly. We've talked about statues in sports before, and we showed them to Isabella. Cristiano Ronaldo, Tom Brady. And there was also the Tom Brady courtroom sketch we've discussed. And so now we're adding in this photo of Pat Riley. And Isabella, does that look to you like Pat Riley?
Okay, so I didn't know what Pat Riley looked like, and so to me, that's Nicolas Cage, man.
I mean, it really does look like our national treasure.
That is Nicolas Cage. Ugh.
The unbearable weight of massive statue. Crazy. It looks exactly like Nicolas Cage. I would say his face is a little off, you know? Face off.
I mean, it's in L.A. I wonder if someone tried to make a statue of Nicolas Cage and just couldn't sell it.
They're like, hey,
and
we don't
like,
need this.
Lakers.
Anybody look kind of like Nicolas Cage that deserves to be honored? Because all we got to do is what is it with this, all of them having just a fist up in the air? All right, so that looks like Nicolas Cage. Yep. It is what it is. It's a great statue of Nicolas Cage. So... all right. Let's see. Did you see this? A Giants versus Cubs spring training game. Now, you might be going, of course I didn't. Why would I be watching that? Well, you might have seen it because upcoming Hall of Fame class of 2026 inductee Jeff Kent joined the San Francisco Giants broadcast booth for their spring training matchup against the Cubs on Sunday. During his appearance, play-by-play voice John Miller asked Kent about a knee injury he suffered back in 1998. How many years ago is that? I know it's going to hurt my feelings, but that's like 30.
28.
Brady's on mute, but he doesn't realize. 27 years ago.
It's 10 years ago.
Yes, thank you. It's what it should be. A knee injury he suffered when A-Rod slid hard into second base while attempting to break up a double play. Jeff did not hold back.
A-Rod, he was your size, and he came in hard on you, and you know, you survived it, but I think he got banged up a little bit on that.
He was on the deal for a little bit.
Yeah, I did. He tore my knee up. He slid and rolled his fat ass past the base, the son of a bitch, and put me out for a little while. I was not happy about that because he was a middle infielder, and we were beating him up pretty good. He didn't need to be doing that.
Jeez Louise.
Damn.
Jeez Louise. So if you're wondering, future in broadcasting? Probably not. Probably not for Jeff Kent.
I love it because John Miller is the quintessential smooth, pleasant baseball voice. He's
got
a Hall
that
of Famer
voice. He's
himself.
talking to you, coming to you live from the Giants spring training game.
And Jeff Kent's just prickly and bitter and rolls in with that son of a bitch.
Wild. It was so long ago, Jeff. And then last, did you see that? And you know the answer is yes for me because it involves themselves, my babe, Dunkin' Donuts. They are selling 48-ounce buckets of iced coffee in limited markets in Massachusetts. It's a collectible coffee bucket at select stores in Mass and New Hampshire, like Alston. Shout out Alston. I used to bartend there. Amherst, Bellingham, Brighton, Brockton, Falmouth, New Bedford, Uxbridge. Just feels like the Jimmy Fallon, Ben Affleck, where we're just naming Massachusetts town. Uxbridge and Wilmington. Last week, Dunkin' also began a test run of selling a single left-handed mitten for holding iced coffee in the winter.
Sick.
When did we all decide it had to be in our left hands? What if this is my iced coffee hand?
I assume the Massachusetts residents only do things one way.
Yeah, I guess so. I would drink this.
I would too.
It's so much. It's
I would
so
save
big.
it. I would keep it in
doesn't
my
even
fridge.
try to fit in the cup holder.
How many? Oh, that is an issue. But it would be really funny if it was like a bucket that had that tiny little bottom. Like they already do that with like the large. The large iced coffee already has this like very small, and then it goes like, but I'm thick. Imagine on a bucket with it's just basically to keep it from wiggling. I don't know. It would be kind of crazy.
All the reels are just Massachusettsians just holding it like a newborn, just cradling it in one arm.
It would make it useless as a bucket if it had that little nobbin. But maybe they could, for the future, make it so that you can just pop the nobbin out if you intend to put it in your car.
Yeah.
And you can smush it back up into it like a collapsible little thing. These are good ideas. I'll have to call up corporate and let them know.
Yeah, for sure.
How many ounces is a large currently? I would guess...
I would guess maybe like
18?
24.
Oh, 24.
Maybe
okay.
something like that.
Because I think a medium is like 16. And also the ice ratio is going to make a huge difference here. So if you're working at a Dunkin' Donuts and someone gets a bucket, don't give them all ice, okay?
And the problem is because it's so big, the ice is probably gonna melt.
Right, like you do have to put in enough ice that it keeps the whole thing cold. But don't make it so I take 3 sips and then notice it's just a pile of ice in a bucket.
Internet says the big boy is 32 ounces.
32, and then this one is
This is
48.
48.
So
that's no biggie. That's
that's a lot of ounces of coffee. Dan, I'll tell you what, Dan will take 2 sips of it and leave it on a table somewhere. Did you want me to put this bucket in the fridge? Are we coming back to this? Or at this point, it's coffee water. All right, at this point, the podcast is over. A really good episode today. Big thanks again to our guest, Sophia Kirkby, and thanks to our casualties, Brady, Isabella, and Chris, who are... Why'd you laugh? What's so funny? How dare I thank Brady?
I'm thinking of the Stanleyfication of the bucket.
With those little, putting like a little labubu on it.
That's crazy. It's the skinny little bottoms putting it inside of a car. End the episode, please.
Okay. So that's it for the episode. Isabella's going to recover from that. If you want to reach out to us, if you bought the bucket and you want to tell us about your experience of trying to put it in your car cup holder or how you feel about this collapsible little nubbin idea, casualswithkatieNolan@gmail.com, 646-801-0043 on IG and TikTok. We are at Casuals the Podcast. That's it for us for this week. We will see you back here next week, starting on Tuesday audio-wise and Wednesday video on youtube.com/Katie Nolan. We love you. We mean it. Bye, y'all. This episode is presented by GMC. We are professional grade.